Hey guys, it's SJ. Happy Baby Day Monday. This week on my channel is a bit different because I hit 50,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and I just wanted to say a huge thank you if you are subscribed to this channel. It's just incredible that this little kind of hobby that I have as a mama of 3 who just loves baby names much more than she should has found its own little tribe here on the internet. And I love how we just chat every week about names. I love when you guys let me know you've had your baby and I've helped to name your baby. It's just been so much fun, and yeah, it's amazing to see it grow so much. So today I thought, rather than sort of sit and research and do like one of my really researched and kind of like presenting type of name lists, I'm just going to tell you 50 baby names that I absolutely love and might be easy. Who knows? I was just having this conversation with Henrik, my husband, yesterday. We've got 3 kids, so I was like, I've started noticing lots of pregnant people again in a kind of like way that I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be lovely? I probably could do it again. It's funny how quickly we forget. And now that Evelina's 2.5, this is always when we would kind of be trying again. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah, so these are the names that would 100% be my choices. So I thought it'd be really cool if you guys also joined in. So in the comment section below, if you take from my girl list and from my boy list your favourite girl and favourite boy name, pop them in the comment section below, maybe with a hashtag, and then I'll add them all up, and hopefully then what we will have is our community's #1 favourite girl name and #1 favourite boy name, obviously taken from my favourites, but it'd be really, really cool just to know that anyway, see if we're all thinking the same thing and see how that matches up with then the popularity of those names, so I can look into them a little bit more. And I'd also love to do your favourite baby names video coming up soon, so don't forget to hit subscribe and check out my community tab, and then that's where I ask for loads of suggestions and I can give you all shout outs and we can keep going with our own little lists. I love doing that because it's just a really unique way of doing it. So because there's 25 girl names and 25 boy names, I will rattle them through. So they're in no particular order, but I'll start with girls because that's how I've written this, and literally how I wrote this was just off the top of my head, sitting down what are my favourite names. So the first one I've written down is the name Molly. I really love the name Molly. It's quite a popular one, but it's got to me that real like kind of vintage vibe. I always think of a really cool girl called Molly, that kind of with curly hair. I don't know why. Why have I got curly Molly? And yeah, just a lovely, lovely name, and it's one that Henrik also really liked. It's not too used as well. It doesn't seem like you'll hear Molly in every single playground. Like I know one Molly, I think, who's a little girl, and there's never been a Molly in any of the boys' classes. And I just think it's a really underused name that is so pretty. I probably would spell it with a Y because I just like the traditional way of doing it. But what do you think of the name Molly? The next one I've written down is the name Flora. I love Flora. I love flower names. They are my favourite. This is one that Henrik's not mad on, but the name Floris is lovely in Swedish, and I think that that would probably be how I can get names over the line with him. It's by going Swedish because he's Swedish. But I love the name Flora. I just think it is one that years ago was so associated with the butter brand here in the UK, but whenever I hear it, I'm just like, that is absolutely gorgeous. I've got 2 boys, Freddie, Finn, and then my daughter is called Evelina. So I had to avoid F names because I just didn't want to have such a theme, and I just loved the boys' 2 names. But Flora was up there for me. The third list on my list is Blossom, which is Evelina's middle name, but I love it so much. I would have 100% gone with it as her first name, but it wasn't for Henrik as much. He doesn't like those names that don't seem like real names, but Blossom, since I've used it in the middle, is suddenly ramping up through the charts. I'm like, oh, gutted. I've written the name True. I know this is a Kardashian name, but I just fell in love with it. I think it is so lovely. I loved Truly Scrumptious so much when I was little. You can tell I'm really cool. And I love the name True. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It would 100% without a heartbeat be somewhere in a girl's name if I was to have another little girl. Posy is a really interesting one because I love it. I talked about it a while ago, and then I saw recently it is on the, like, it's number really high up on Nameberry's most liked baby names so far for 2019. So it's one that's massively going up, maybe because we talked about it so much here, but you guys really liked it as well. It's getting used a lot more. I wasn't sure. Posy is basically a little bunch of flowers, and I feel like if we say, oh, someone's a bit posy, as in they love to pose, but I just don't think that's putting people off. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And with that, I've written Primrose. They are so similar, but I just love the name Primrose. I think it's just one of those classics that's becoming really, really popular. And if you like the name Rose, then Primrose is really lovely to sort of extend it a little bit, but Rose by itself is so lovely as well. But I feel like everyone pops Rose in the middle, and Primrose would probably be something that I would try and put in. I've written Margot, so this is a name that we really liked for Evelina. We both liked the name Margot a lot, and I would love it to spell it the E-A-U-X way, but I think that because I'm not actually French, it would be a bit strange, and so I'd probably use the T at the end, the silent T. But we just really liked it. It was one we often went back and forth about, but in the end I just felt it was, I like really pretty girl names, like long, like Evelina, Blossom, super duper girly, and Margot is a little bit more cool, and yeah, but if I had another, I think like having the balance of Evelina and Margot sounds cool as anything. Juniper is a vintage hippie, not vintage, hippie name that I talk about all the time, and I've loved it for a long time, and yeah, I just absolutely love it. I love June as a nickname. We actually got married in June on Midsummer, so I kind of get away with Juniper. I just think it is so lovely. I've written Martha. It's very similar to Margot and Molly, but I do like M names, and I really love the name Martha. I think it's a bit overlooked, but whenever I hear it, I just really love the sound of it, and it sounds almost really vintage, like, because it's not quite as comeback, it hasn't sort of always been popular, but I really like it. What do you think of Martha? And a bit similar, this is quite common, but I do love the name Beatrice. I just love the nickname B, and whenever I hear Beatrice or Beatrix, I don't mind which one really. I just always have loved that name, and everyone even picks it, I'm like, yes, gorgeous. And my sister desperately wanted a Beatrice, and her husband wouldn't let her, and yeah, mean, but she's got gorgeous girl names. Agnes is a new favourite of mine. I watched a TV show with Agnes and I just absolutely loved it. It's quite rare here and in Sweden, so it's a beautiful one, I think. And I think it's the right side of pretty to me, but I don't like Aggie as a nickname as much, but I love Ness as a nickname as well. I just think that is so lovely. So Agnes ticks a lot of all my boxes. Evadine I've written next. Obviously it's really similar to Evelina, but I just love that D, Evadine. It's just so romantic, isn't it? If I didn't have an Evelina, I couldn't obviously have Evelina and Evadine, but I love. Marlow is the next one. I talked about this before. This was 100% my second choice for Evelina. So Margot evolved into Marlow, and it was one I heard on Instagram. I can't remember which Instagram has got a daughter Marlow. Is it one of the Adamo sisters? And I just loved it so much when I was pregnant. But it's one of those that I'm not like as in love with now, but I loved it when I was pregnant. So yeah, strange one with that one. Ingrid, I love. Love. I think it's so not used as much. We have Imogen so much. The only thing is, I get confused with Imogen, Isabel. Sometimes with those names I get really muddled up, like Catherine and Caroline. I can't keep them in my head for some reason. So maybe Ingrid would be like that for some other people, but I think it is a stunning name, such a romantic one. Evelina and Ingrid. Oh, I need another baby. Joy, I loved the name Joy so much. I wanted this for a middle name a lot, but I didn't want 3 middle names. Finn's got 2 middle names. And I wasn't sure about Evelina Blossom Joy, Joy Blossom. It just sounded a bit like a perfume, but I just love the name Joy so much, and I toyed with it a lot. Toyed with Joy. It's just a lovely one, isn't it? Just such a unique name nowadays, but really lovely. All of these are really short ones now. Obviously got my short stride. Tess, absolutely love it. Getting that vintage vibe. Beth. What do you think of Beth? I know it's a bit of an unusual one. When I was little, I was desperate to be called Bethany because I used to look after a little girl called Bethany, and I just loved her name, and I think I told quite a lot of people that my middle name was Bethany. It's not. I don't have one. But I just loved how much I loved the name Bethany, but I love Beth now. I just think it just sounds really lovely, these short one-syllable names. And Ivy, I really like the name Ivy. I think Evelina and Ivy work really well together with the V sound. Together, Freddie, Finn, Evelina and Ivy. Maybe it's too much of a matchy match, but I really love the name Ivy. I think it's one that, whenever you hear it, always sounds elegant and unusual and special. Liberty, it's quite a common name, but I really like it. I don't know if it's really my style. I think some people would see it's quite a modern name, but I just really always liked it. I've always liked the nickname Libby. For some reason, I just love the sound of it. I think it's unusual. I love what it stands for. Very free-spirited festival type of girl to me. And then Forest for a girl. Love, love, love. Henrik did not approve that one, just to let you know. But I love Forest for a girl. Like, if my heart could be any desire, a little girl named Forest would be like 100% me and my soul, because I'm very outdoorsy and I love all that stuff. But I don't know if I could get it past Henrik. Ask your partner, would they go for a girl called Forest? Oh,
Why didn't you say the name Spider-Man?
The girls is a bit of a vintage throwback, but I've put it on my name list about birds, and it's the name MAVIS. And since then, I've just really loved it. Like, it's just not one that's in fashion whatsoever, and I just think it sounds so lovely with all the Evies and Avas out there. MAVIS, just suddenly I have a mad crush on that name. And similar, Connie. I've always liked the name Connie, and Constance, nicknamed to Connie, shortened to Connie. I love that name. Always have. We've got an Aunt Connie in my family. I had an Aunt Connie who was my dad's aunt, so I could use it, and it's a family name, which would have been cool. But actually, we didn't really talk about Connie, even though I really love it. The next one is Lois. I really like the name Lois. Don't know why. There was a girl at work called Lois, and I loved her name. And every Lois I've met, I've only met 2, are just really cool. And it doesn't get used that much, does it? I loved Lola, but we had a cat named Lola, so I couldn't go with Lola, but Lois is a good one. I liked Lo. Do you remember Lo from The Hills? Loved that. Aurelia, back to really pretty with L sounds. That's kind of my thing. And I loved Aurelia in Love, actually. I just think that name is so stunning. So Evelina and Aurelia, it's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? But I love them. And Romilly. So I came across the name Romilly just after I had Evelina, and I was like, oh, I've had a bit of regret. I love it so much, but Romilly, yeah. So whenever anyone emails me now asking me for baby name advice, you're quite often going to get the name Romilly. I just really like it. It's a little bit the one that got away. I thought it was Romilly, and then when I heard it was Romilly, I was like, oh, that's stunning. What's next? Verity, I love. Again, like sort of vintage, modern virtue vibe. Clementine, love. Evelina was a Christmas baby, so I could have gone with Clementine. That would have suited her really well, but I don't like the nickname Clemmy. Sorry if anyone's a Clemmy. For some reason, for me, I just don't like it as much, so kind of put me off a little bit. Phoebe for a girl is another one that I absolutely loved and considered, but with the F sound, didn't really want it with the boys, but it's a beautiful name. I love B again as the nickname for it, and I'm always jealous that somebody's picked it. Jemima for a girl, chitty chitty bang bang vibes. I loved Jemima. Had it on my girl list when I had Finn, and funnily enough, one of the midwives came to see me was called Jemima, and it always stuck in my mind. I like Mimi as a nickname because we call my sister Aunt Mimi because she's Naomi and we can't say it, so I couldn't say it when I was little. I used to call her Mimi, so Jemima and Mimi. But Henrik had like never heard of that name. It's not Scandinavian at all, so he was just like, what are you even saying? Arietti is a literary name from the borrowers, and I think it sounds so cool. Vivian, I really like as well. It's quite, I don't know if it's common. There's a mum at school who's got a little girl, Vivian, and I always think it sounds nice. And doesn't Angelina Jolie have a Vivienne or something? I just think it is, again, really pretty with the V's. And the last one is Esme. I love the name Esme. I've always liked it. I think I always thought of it as like little girl, and how would it suit you like if you were like my age. But I know a woman called Esme like my age, and it seems really lovely, so it does work. What do you think? Out of all of those, which is your favourite? And pop it down in the comment section below, and we'll try and pick a top girl names that we all like. Okay, so 25 of my favourite boy names. I was just looking at the list and trying to figure out if I could give this my style a kind of name, because it's not vintage, it's not like traditional English, it's not traditional Scandi. I think they're kind of just somewhere in the middle. They're names that I think sound really good, and they're probably quite on trend, more hipstery than I go with the girls. But again, aren't unusual or rare or weird, I hope. So I hope you like the boy names. My number one, and they're not in any particular order, is the name Sunny. I just have always really liked it. I just think it is such a soft and lovely name, but it's cool. It's like, you'd be really trendy. It sounds like a bit like 1970s to me, and I just think it is a stunning name. Whenever you hear it, obviously it makes you think of happiness, it makes you think of them being a little boy, and I think it's a great one. Really like it. Kasper, spelled with a K, which is the Swedish way, was so close to being Finn's name. I think we even talked about it with Freddie, and we certainly talked about it had Evelina been a boy. Very strong, it could have been a Kasper. I've always really liked the name. I think it's really unusual, and it's quite divisive because of Kasper the Ghost, but I really like Kasper. I used to love the name Jasper, but at my work lots of people had Jaspers all of a sudden, so yeah, I sort of evolved it into Kasper. And Henrik liked it a lot as well, and I think it would 100%, again, never made it to that top spot. There's a little Kasper in me somewhere, not right now. The name Bo, I really like the name Bo for a boy, always have. My sister thought about Bo, and we've got Finn Barnaby Boo, so he's a Boo, which is the Scandinavian word for home, and it's Henrik's dad's name, which I really like. But I think by itself, Boo in the UK stands more for a girl, so Beau, the more French way, I think is just a really cool name again, and one that I think would suit us and our family. Albie was really top for us as well, had Evelina been a boy. We felt quite, you know, we read all these books about Albie, the little kid who grows dinosaurs in his garden. Don't know if you've read those. So we were like, are we just conditioned into liking the name Albie? But it's getting a bit popular. Obviously it's kind of a short nickname form of Albert, but I think we would just have gone with Albie because I just like it so much. I think it just sounds really cute. Freddie and Albie might be a bit too close together. Where am I on my list? So next is the name Roman. I just think it's a really strong, cool name. I've always liked it. And when you hear there's a radio presenter called Roman, isn't there? I just think it always sounds so good and really works as a name. But it could be one of those that is a bit weird for some people, because obviously Roman was like a time to be Roman. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it sounds really cool, and I would definitely have it if I had a baby boy. I would love to use it. Wilf, I absolutely love, and obviously I've already got a Freddie, so yeah, I couldn't have a Wilfred. I could just go with just Wilf, but I think Wilf and Freddie sounds like you're saying Wilfred, but I just love that name so much. But I knew quite a lot of Wilfs, but I don't care because I just think it is so gorgeous. But then, because I was worried about the Freddie thing, I then had it on my list as Wilbur, but I thought it was really cute as well, so Wilbur instead of Wilfred. So I thought I would share that with you because I think it's a really cute one that hasn't come back yet. And then Percy, I really liked Percy so much. I just think it's such a cute name, and Joan Collins' husband's Percy, and I knew a girl who had a Percy, and I was just like, I think it is so adorable. Like, I think there's a Percy Pig Association now maybe, but I just love it so much. Crispin, see, I mean, it's a bit of a weird name, I know, but I've just always had a thing that I like it. It's a bit like exotic and different, isn't it? And I think like with Chris, just the thing is you might end up just being known as Chris, and there's just so many Christophers of my generation, but I've always liked Crispin. Atticus was one I really liked. Couldn't quite get over the line. Henrik was like kind of liked it but kind of not, and then a few of my friends did that sort of Atticus if they'd never heard it before, and now it is coming up. It's a lot more popular than it was, obviously with Harper and it being a literary name. It's one I really like the sound of, but I wasn't sure if it was a little bit over the top for us sort of thing, because we're quite like a normal down to earth family. Sometimes you sort of think, are we trying too hard? But I don't know, I would always have gone for it if Henrik had really loved it as well. Gideon, I really like the name Gideon. I don't know where it's come from, just the O-N ending, I think, that strong O. I really like in boy names, and Gideon just think sounds great. Quite an unusual one, a quite happy one, like an upbeat one. I would think of it like that to myself. Oh, Kasper again. I'm going to have to think of another one. Jonas, had the name Jonas on my list. I really liked it, and it kind of works quite well in Swedish as well. I just never 100% got sold on it up to the very top, but I don't know why, because I think it's really cool. I like Jonah as well, but I quite liked the S sounding. It sounded so kind of like different. I think it was because the Jonas brothers were around and were really popular when Finn was born. That kind of made me feel a bit like, was I being a bit like a teeny bopper? But Jonas is such a cool name, and again it's the O, I guess, that I really like. Isaac, spelled the Swedish way, I loved. Always liked this name from forever. When I was quite young, I always liked the name Isaac, and I just thought it looks really lovely, spelled in the Swedish simple way. Jericho, a new favourite. I popped this on a name list recently, and you guys really liked it as well. I just think it's just such a cool one. Really cool. Maybe they'd have to be like Coco as a nickname, but that's weird for a boy. Jericho, again, it's just the Jerry, isn't it? Don't want to know these nicknames. You'd have to continuously make sure that it was always Jericho. Hunter is a name I absolutely love, but I'm a really strict veggie, always have been since I was tiny, and I just couldn't bring myself to have a baby called Hunter because I'm a veggie. But I'm not against hunting properly. Like Henrik's brother is a hunter over in Sweden, and it's very controlled and it's very different, and it's to, you know, keep the animals, you know, at the right level and everything like that, and he's got a special license, but it's still got some bad associations, doesn't it? And I'm not somebody who would ever be able to be married to a hunter or anything like that. I don't even like taking the boys crabbing. It made me really sad. We obviously put them all back, so yeah. But I do love the name Hunter. Oh, what do you think? Otto was a name that we loved, and now I have a nephew called Otto, and it's suddenly become really popular. Heard it a lot since she picked it, and yeah, I liked it. It was on our list as well, which is so funny. So I did campaign her a little bit to go with Otto, and I'm glad she did because he's the cutest, and he just suits Otto so much. Barnaby is one of Finn's middle names, and I just love the name Barnaby. Henrik, again, it was one he'd never really heard because I don't think it's used at all in Sweden, but yeah, Finn Barnaby Boo, and I love Barnaby, and there's a boy at Barnaby at school, and I'm always slightly jealous because Finn is really popular now. There's only one other Finn in his school. The name Binks is one I put on a hipster baby name list ages ago, and I've now started to see it being used quite a bit. I think it sounds mega cool. It's a very made up name, but me and Henrik don't mind that for boys as much. Sounds a bit, I don't know why, we're a bit different with girls and boys with our style. Hugo was 100%, and again, I've talked about it before, one that I loved. I don't know why, it just, I think it just sounds lovely and it suits our kind of style. It's not too out there. It really works in Swedish, and just quite a sweet one. I really wanted to have the nickname Huggy for a little baby boy. Lane I really like. I've always liked the name Lane. I like it for a girl or a boy, but I think it sounds really cool for a boy. I just think it's quite a handsome one. Yeah, I think it just sounds really, really good always, and just suits a baby and a teen really, really well, and a grown up. I like it. Hudson, I really liked if you look at those surname trends, but I had an ex-boyfriend whose last name was Hudson, only for like a minute, but still. I don't think I can go with it. He might think it's after him. The name Maddox I love so much. I just think I'm not cool enough to pull it off, but I love Maddox. I just think it just sounds so lovely, and I love that strong X, but to me it does sound quite exotic and kind of like it wouldn't really suit me, but maybe it would, maybe it would. Lathan is a quite another surname as first name, but I've always liked it. I think, like, yeah, Lathan, I don't know where I heard it from. I think I don't know, where have I got Lathan from? Where have I written that down from? But I just really like it. Nathan, that's where I've got it from. Nathan changed to Lathan. Oh yeah, look what I've done, and the next name is Nathaniel. I like the name Nathaniel as well, and I like Nate a lot as a nickname for Nathaniel, so I think that was one that I could 100% see us having a little Nate Nathaniel. And then Gabriel. Gabriel was a name I loved when I was younger, and I was like really into it, and would 100% have had a Gabriel. I really, really, really still love it, and it's got coming back into my affection as a boy name that I think would 100% be on my list. Okay, so counted through, and I think that was 25, even with my double Kasper. So thank you so much for listening to my favourite names. Let me know with those what you would expect from me, which ones do you think would suit me and my family, and which are your favourites. Do let me know in the comments below what your favourites are from this list, but of course I would love to know your actual favourites as well, because I want to put together the next list to be all your favourites, our community's favourite baby names. There can be replicates of these again, or brand new ones, because you guys are so good at baby names. Thanks as ever for being here. If you are brand new, don't forget to subscribe. All my other lists are linked below, and I also have my forum over at channelmum.com where we talk baby names, which I will link. And I will see you all very, very soon later on in the week with some parenting videos, and I'll be back next Monday for baby names. Bye guys, and thanks again for 50. Woohoo!